Hello everyone, my name is Dee. Welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome back if you have been here before. Today we are going to be doing a quick little reading to see what your person thinks of you, okay, to see how it is that they feel about you, how it is that they also feel about you and view you and think of you as a person. So, as always, this is a general reading. And since it is a general reading, please take what resonates and leave the rest. If it does not resonate with you, then it is not meant for you. And now let's get into it. We've got pile 1 with sodalite. We have pile 2 with goldstone. And we've got pile 3 with opalite. Hello there, my pile 1s, my sodalite pile. Let's take a look at what your person thinks of you. Okay, what do they think of you? How do they feel about you? How do they view you or perceive you? Let's take a look. My pile 1s will be getting a couple oracle cards, or first a couple tarot cards, then a couple oracle cards out here. Then I think I want to pull a couple oracle cards for where they see or think this connection is heading. Okay, so we've got the 9 of Wands, which immediately to me is going to bring up that this person views you or thinks that you are somebody who definitely has their guard up around them. So that could be a thing. We've got the 9 of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles. So let's get maybe 1 or 2 more cards out here. And then I will... Oh, the 2 of Wands. And the Knight of Pentacles. So this person definitely views you as being someone who has very high self-worth, who is very confident in themselves. So whether you feel that way or not, that's at least how this person perceives you or views you. You know, they think of you as somebody who has a lot of confidence in themselves, which is a beautiful thing. So when it starts out with that 9 of Wands, again, I feel like that 9 of Wands is this person feeling like or thinking that you've got your guard up with them or around them. The 9 of Pentacles to me would indicate that this person views you as being somebody who's very successful in whatever it is that they do. They view you as being somebody with very high self-confidence, very high self-worth. They know that you're not going to settle for less than you deserve. And when we move a little bit more forward to that 2 of Wands, I feel like it's your person thinking that you have options. So when your person like views you or how your person thinks of you, they view you as being somebody who has options and as being someone that's not going to settle for less than they deserve. And I feel like, of course, this is a general reading. Take what resonates and leave the rest. But I do feel like for some of us, our person may be a little bit insecure. Maybe even at times a little bit intimidated by us, but I feel like what this is turning into is, you know, this person feels like you're somebody who has options, that you're somebody who could, you know, pick and choose them if you wanted to, that you're somebody that has this guard up with them because you feel like they're not good enough for you, or you feel like they at least think that you are too good for them to where you have options in this situation. Like, it's sort of a weird message. I feel like I'm not explaining it, of course, the best that I possibly could be. But I do feel like that it's almost like this person's perception of you is that you have this guard up in regard to them, because it's totally possible that you're exploring other options aside from them. And as always, that's not going to resonate with everybody, but that's something that's coming through here for me. So, again, not sure who that makes sense for, but I do feel like that's something that your person has on their mind, or it's something that your person fears. Because I feel like your person, they really do, they view you as this, you know, independent, successful, beautiful person who can have anybody or get anything that they want. And they just feel like there's certain times where, you know, you don't have to entertain them because of the fact that you have so many other options aside from them. And again, this is their perception, but this is what, like, this is their thoughts of you. You know, they feel like you could have anybody that you want, and that there's at times really no reason why you would be entertaining them. And I feel like this person doubts themselves a lot, or they're very insecure with themselves, etc., and so on. And they're certainly feeling like you are too good for them. Now, another way that this person views you or thinks of you is the fact that they look at you as being somebody who's incredibly hardworking. We have the Nine of Pentacles, which would indicate, like being financially stable and secure, perhaps even prosperous. It would indicate that you are, or at least some of us are, in higher up positions at our jobs, or we could even have our own business, etc. It just seems like to me, this person, another huge possibility here that could act as confirmation for some people is that you might work with this person. And if you don't work with them, and let's say you are a business owner, this person's very well aware of all that it took for you to build up your business empire, let's say. So this person views you as being somebody who's incredibly professional, incredibly successful, and incredibly career driven. So I hope that makes sense in some regard. That could even be another way in which this person feels a bit insecure with themselves, is because they view you as being somebody who's so successful, who's so, financially well off or financially stable and secure. And that could be another way in which they feel insecure about themselves. The last thing I want to say too, in regard to the Nine of Wands, if it's not in reference to this, guard that you might have up at times with them or around them, the Nine of Wands could certainly be indicative of certain things in your life being somewhat of a struggle. And that it's another way in which this person looks up for you. Because the Nine of Wands, it could bring up somebody that's battle weary or going through this, ongoing battle. That we've had to, that we've had a lot of struggles, but we've continued to push ourselves through them and persevere and overcome any challenge or obstacle that we've had in our life. And I feel like this person looks up to you or has the utmost of respect for you, because there were struggles that you have gone through, but you've always continuously pushed yourself, or picked yourself back up. You've always done what it is that you've needed to do, etc., and so on. So I hope that makes sense in some way. Now let's get a couple of these oracle cards out here. I like using them for this type of reading, where we are trying to see what your person thinks of you. So let's see my pile ones. We have the High Lady of Love and Compassion. So we have reverence, kindness, and consideration. With that said, I feel like this person, aside from, let's say, viewing you as being somebody who's incredibly hardworking, another thing that comes through with the Nine of Pentacles is elegance and grace. And the love and compassion, the reverence, the kindness, the consideration, it brings me back to perhaps that grace word that comes through with the Nine of Pentacles, where this person does consider you to be someone who, very much so gives people grace. That at the end of the day, you might be hardworking, you might be, a businessman or businesswoman, etc. But you are somebody who also has a lot of compassion and is very caring of yourself and of all the people around you. So that's another way in which this person views you. Okay, we have the the Spirit Whisperer, divine guidance, higher knowing. And I feel like what that could be an indication of is this person feeling like you're somebody. First of all, of course, it could be that you have a connection to your spirituality, that sort of thing. But it's also bringing me in regard to all the business kind of cards that we've got jumping out here, that you're also somebody that's very business savvy. You always know exactly what to do in a business sense, and that's another way that this person, either views you or looks up to you. Another thing too that I'm getting from that is you don't miss, as well as you've never made a wrong move. So this person, all in all, really views you as being somebody who's incredibly hardworking, but also very business savvy. They're very impressed by that. And we also have the Eyes of Beauty, positive expectations, and clarity. And I feel like in regard to this connection between you both, which is why I do want to get a couple of love oracle cards out here, is to see where this person sees this connection going, is I do feel like something that's maybe lacking from this connection at times is clarity, especially if your person is the type to feel a little bit insecure, or especially if you've noticed that with your person, or maybe even if at times you feel like they have their guard up around you. To me, it just seems like your person feels that you can pick and choose to be with whoever it is that you want. So, so they feel like insecure with themselves because of that. Or feel like maybe you're not giving them a chance, etc. Whatever the case might be. It's kind of a weird message, so I do hope that it makes sense in some way. We start out here with Cupid's arrow, but before that I want to go back to the eyes of beauty. So of course, this could be a strong indication that one of your most striking features are your eyes, or that your person finds your eyes to be very beautiful. The other thing is the positive expectations, or just positivity in general. That would lead me to believe that this person that has a lot of fun with you and around you, that the two of you do things that you enjoy with one another. Like that this person, even when we go back to the High Lady of love and compassion, that you're somebody that's always been very loving, caring, compassionate, sympathetic, empathetic. You're always somebody that's trying to raise this person's vibration, or you're always somebody that's such a beacon of light in this person's life, etc. Like I said, though, I do feel like clarity at times is lacking because this person feels unsure or uncertain of themselves in regard to this connection. I feel like a huge part of that is insecurity. But when we move forward to what it is that they're wanting from this connection, we start out with Cupid's arrow. Okay, have faith, love is coming, surprise, invitation, or meeting, but we also have hesitation on that card as well. And I do feel like right now, maybe for many of us, this connection is one which is getting closer. I do feel like for most of us, we probably work with this person, or in some way, shape, or form, we know them through work. Even if we are a business owner, we might have some type of work connection with this person. Whatever the case might be, I feel like this person is hesitant, and a huge part of their hesitancy is their insecurity. But I also feel like this person is getting themselves to a point where they're getting themselves to that point where it's kind of like, for as much as they might fear rejection, what they'd fear even more is not taking their chance. And I feel like that's what the Cupid's arrow card is indicative of here. Okay? So I do feel like for many of us, or as I was saying, that I think I sidetracked myself, we perhaps do know this person through work in some way, shape, or form. So we're not exactly like in a relationship with them yet. And of course, take what resonates, leave the rest. This could just be specific for this group of people that work with this person or work around this person. And it just feels like to me, like we might work with this person. This person sees us, like maybe even for some of us, we're this person's boss, or like adjacent to being their boss, whatever the case might be. And this person feels kind of insecure with themselves because of how successful you are. And I also feel like a huge part of it too is physical beauty. Like they feel insecure with themselves, and like you can have anybody that you want, but they're not quite sure of how they measure up, or they're not quite sure of if you are attracted to them in the same way that they are attracted to you. Again, it kind of leads me back to that Eyes of Beauty card and bringing up that physical attraction could be a huge part of this. We also have the card Seduction. So we have attraction, flirting, dating, hooking up, temptation, third-party interference. The third-party interference could very well be work, and maybe that's one reason why this person is kind of feeling like they're not quite sure of what's going on here, that there's a lack of clarity, especially if you are very, very, very involved with your work and this person feels like you don't have time for them. So this person might be feeling like you're picking and choosing other things over them, not even so much other people. So that could be something. But I also feel like there's attraction here. There's flirting here. This person wants to date. This person wants to hook up. This person, I feel like at this point, wants to see where this connection could go. And as far as their next move, as I was saying before, I feel like this person's not so much fearing rejection anymore. They're more so fearing missing out on their opportunity. But they are certainly trying to build up their confidence because it seems to be a little bit lacking to me. So I hope that this makes sense, my pile ones, in some way, shape, or form. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you today, and I hope that you have a wonderful weekend. Hello, my pile twos, my goldstone pile. Let's take a look at what your person thinks of you. Okay, let's see. What does your person have on their mind about you? What do they like about you? What do they admire about you? How do they view you or perceive you as a person? Okay, let's see my pile twos. We have the Queen of Pentacles starting us out. We have the Eight of Cups. We have the Ace of Swords. We have the Well. And let's get one more card out here. And we have the Four of Wands. So there's a couple different things. The Four of Wands jumping out last does lead me to say something along the lines of that. Like this person feels like you are home to them. You know, like this person feels very safe, very secure, very comfortable with you and around you. I feel like all in all, even the Queen of Pentacles backs that up. The Queen of Pentacles is a card that's going to indicate somebody who's extremely kind, nurturing, caring, supportive, loving, etc. All of these beautiful things. But what I do love with the Eight of Cups next to her is I basically got this message of no bullshit. This person also knows that you're somebody that's not going to put up with somebody's bullshit at the same time. Now, my thing with the Eight of Cups is the fact that it seems as though you're somebody who will give someone a second chance, and then you'll give someone maybe even a third chance. And then it becomes like, I feel like I'm getting taken advantage of, and now I'm going to move away from what is no longer serving me. And I feel like that's a huge thing, again, for some of us, some of these messages might come through as confirmation. So for me, it would be confirmation if maybe this is, your partner coming through here, or you're asking about your partner and what they think of you or how they view you. Or even if this is, let's say, a newer love connection, but it's somebody that you have some history with, maybe you guys are friends. This person has seen you give people chance after chance. This person has seen you, let's say, in effect at times, get taken advantage of. But this person knows that you're not the type of person that's going to let somebody continue to take advantage of you. And you're not somebody that's going to let anybody make you look foolish for the amount of love, care, and support that you give out freely unto others. Because I feel like with that Queen of Pentacles and that type of energy and being that type of person, it's usually a blessing and a curse. It's usually a blessing and a curse because we are so loving and we are so caring of others. And when we move forward to the Well, we feel things so deeply at times and have an enormous amount of empathy for other people. But we also know when to walk away from certain situations. And it kind of leads me to you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink type of energy, along with, feeling like we are just blatantly beginning to get disrespected or taken advantage of by others' energy. And I feel like this person has seen this sort of thing happen to you time and time again. Like maybe you try to be very helpful and very supportive, only to have your helpfulness or your support get thrown back in your face. Or maybe this person has seen you, care for and provide for others, only to the point of you getting taken advantage of and recognizing that it's time for you to get the hell out of Dodge in whatever situation that was. So I do feel like for some of us, again, this might be a message of confirmation, or again, maybe this is how you are as a person. And you view yourself that way as well, that you will continue to give and give, but once you hit that point where you start to feel like you're getting taken advantage of, or once you hit that point where you feel like you're being disrespected, you will walk away from a person, place, or thing. And I feel like this person has a lot of respect for you and the way that you're able to still, feel so deeply, love so deeply, care for, provide for, support others, and even support yourself. But you're not somebody that's going to get played around with either. Like all in all, this person has the absolute utmost of respect for you. So I hope in some way, shape, or form that makes sense. I'm going to move on now, though, so I don't beat it all to death. But we've got the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords, to me, is going to bring up that you and your person have a lot of common interests. And I feel like your person views you as being somebody who's highly intelligent. The Ace of Swords, to me, it'll bring up, let's say, mental stimulation. So your person feels like you're somebody who is very mentally stimulating, but you're also somebody that perhaps likes to be mentally stimulated. And I feel like in that regard, this person views you as being somebody who wants to talk about, let's say, the bigger topics, the deeper topics. You like to get all up in there when you are discussing something, or even when you're feeling something. Like the vibe that I get from this pile is just someone who is so beautiful, so loving, so empathetic, feels things so deeply. But at the same time, I would not want to fuck with you. Like, in the sense of, like, I would not want to do something to hurt you, because you are going to be that type of person that walks away, or you might even get your own last dig back. Your own last little dig of the knife. And I feel like that's kind of how your person views you. I feel like your person views you as somebody who is, again, this loving, beautiful, kind, energetic, like, soul. But at the same time, this person knows not to cross you. This person knows that they do not want to hurt you in any way, shape, or form, because they know that you have absolutely no problem cutting your losses and walking away as soon as you feel disrespected. And again, messages like that come out, and it's not to say like your person's holding in all their disrespect for a later date. It's more so to represent that this person feels like you are someone who is incredibly strong and stands within their power. So I hope that makes sense in some type of way. With the well, it just, again, feels like to me, there's a lot of empathy, there's a lot of love, and this person just views you as being somebody who is incredibly kind-hearted. But again, what I love with that is we're incredibly kind-hearted, but we're also not somebody that's going to be played with or toyed around with. It's really quick for us to move on. It's really quick for us to cut our losses, etc., and so on. And then we end up with the Four of Wands. And I feel like this person views you as being someone who, like, not only are you very stable and secure, but this person also sees you support or provide for others in order for them to feel stable and secure. For me, this comes through in many different ways. For example, you could be somebody like a therapist or a social worker that's helping others to get to a point of stability and security, whether that's mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, etc. You could be a mother, and you are providing for your kids. You could have something going on within your family where you are providing for other members of your family, whether it's parents, whether it's siblings, nieces, nephews, doesn't matter. And then I feel like, too, there's so many other, like, lines of work that could come into this Four of Wands, where you are somebody who's helping either guide others toward stability and security, or you are literally helping people get back on their feet again. I feel like when it comes to the Four of Wands, this person views you as being somebody who they can always feel incredibly comfortable around. They feel like they can trust you, confide in you. They feel like you have their back, that you're somebody who's very dependable and reliable. And very supportive of them. Like you're able to provide them with all the love, support, empathy, whatever it is that they need from you. And that's another thing, too, that I get between starting at the Queen of Pentacles and ending up at the Four of Wands. That you are somebody that is able to provide them with everything and anything that they need. And I feel like for some of us, we do have a more established connection with this person. And I feel like we are going to pull a couple oracle cards from this deck that I love to pull cards for when I do a, what do they think of you reading. But we're also going to pull a couple oracle cards from the Love Oracle deck to see where this person feels like this connection is heading. And I'm going to say right now, I have a very strong feeling that this person feels like you are their person. And this person very much so feels like this is a connection that's going to lead to a very long-lasting, lifelong commitment between the two of you. There's a lot of love here, and this person also feels that same energy toward, like this person has a lot of love for you, or of course, if this is a newer connection, a lot of like toward you. But this person can also feel how much you like them, or how much you love them, and how much you care about them. And I feel like for some of them, of course, it's just speculating here, but I do feel like for some of them, they haven't really experienced love or care or support like this before. And the fact that you're so, willing and loving and provide it to them, but you're also somebody who helps provide it for other people in their lives. It's kind of like this message of they've never really met anybody quite like you before. And even when it comes to where we started, and it's the getting taken advantage of, or, at times maybe we've gotten toyed around with or played based on how, loving our energy is, etc. This person also really admires the fact that you never let that stop you from being exactly who you are. You never let somebody who, let's say, has maybe taken advantage of you stop you from being this person who feels things deeply, or stop you from being this person who, has an enormous amount of love and empathy for everyone else in the world. You never let anything stop you from being exactly who you are, and that's something your person greatly admires. So now, let's get a couple oracle cards out here. Okay, we have the Dream Walker. Dreams, the collective good and illusions. And I honestly feel like, for me, the main thing on here is that collective good message. You do have, again, as I've been saying, an enormous amount of love and an enormous amount of empathy. Okay, and your person definitely sees you trying to, again, raise the vibrations of others, as I was saying. The other thing with the dreams, it could very much so be maybe you're somebody that has followed your dreams, especially in regard to career. Maybe you've really built the career that you want for yourself. Also, definitely with the Queen of Pentacles, she could represent a business owner or somebody who is, very successful in whatever it is that they do for work. So they also look at you as being someone who has followed what it is that they want to do in life, or is continuing to follow the path of what it is that they want to be when they grow up. That sort of thing. Okay, let's get another card or two from this deck. Okay, we have the Phoenix, Resurrection, Surrender to Change. That leads me to believe that you are somebody who, first of all, at times could be like very adaptable or flexible, like that you are somebody who keeps things moving. You're constantly making positive movement forward. The Resurrection, too, aspect of this card, or even the Phoenix rising from the ashes, it brings me back to what I was just saying as well. Like, you're somebody who never like, if someone has hurt you, or I don't just feel like it's someone, I feel like there's maybe multiple people, places, or things that we have had to walk away from because they were no longer serving us. We, again, never let those situations get the better of us. We continue to be this loving, empathetic being. And we have the Wise Woman of Wonderland. So, first of all, the Wise Woman could, of course, be representing that this person finds you to be somebody who is very wise. But when it comes to the integrity and the compromise on the card, I do feel like this is a strong indication of you being somebody who, was I not talking about flexibility and adaptability just a second ago. I believe that I was. But either way, when it comes to the integrity message, I feel like, again, this person views you as being someone who's incredibly loyal, who, definitely stands up or stands for what it is that they believe in. When it comes to the compromise, I feel like that's an indication of you being someone who is, providing for and supporting of others. That you're somebody who is very kind, caring, etc. I do feel like, or get the vibe too, like, aside from, like, let's say compromising, you are somebody that you do get yours, but you also want to make sure that everybody else is just as happy, healthy, and fulfilled as you are. You like to spread your love and your joy around. We start out with, I like you. And let's try to get one more oracle card from this deck just very quickly so we can sum this up. And we have the butterfly. So when it comes to what this person wants from this connection, or where this person sees this connection going, we start out with the I like you card. So again, especially for connections where it is newer or less established, there's a lot of like. I feel like for the more established connections, there is a ton of love that this person has for you. And again, it's like this person can also feel that love radiating off of you. Like this person can tell how much you truly like them or love them as well. This person wants to date, and then when it comes to the butterfly, we have the relationship evolving to the next phase. And I feel like in that regard, this connection is moving onward and upward. This connection is moving forward toward commitment or toward a deeper level of commitment. Whatever the case might be here, depending on where it is that you are at with your person. This person is certainly wanting to move things forward. So I hope that makes sense, my pile twos. Thank you all so much, and I hope that everybody has a wonderful weekend. Hello, pile three, my opalite pile. Let's take a look at what your person thinks of you. Okay, let's see. What are they thinking and feeling about you? How do they view you and perceive you as a person? Let's see. What is your person thinking of you? We've got the Eight of Pentacles. We have the Two of Wands. The Wheel of Fortune. We have the Eight of Wands. And we have the Lovers. So, I feel like your person views you, like, to your person you wear, I think the expression is, many different hats, if that's the correct way to use that expression. But I do feel like your person views you as being somebody who wears many different hats. So we start out with the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles immediately brought me two things. The first thing being you have an incredible work ethic. Your person finds you to be somebody who's very hardworking, somebody who's very good at what they do. If you are a crafter, or you have your own business, or you create, whether it's art or writing or content, doesn't matter. They find you to be incredibly skilled at whatever it is that you do, whether you do it for work or you do it as a hobby. Okay, so there's that. The second part of it is that this person is really impressed by the way that you give them your time, effort, and energy. And I also feel like that makes sense in the sense of them looking at you or viewing you as somebody who wears many different hats, is that you are able to show up for them and reciprocate their energy, but you're also able to do all of this other shit within your life. Like you are everything to everybody else all at once. And your person's very impressed by that, but I also feel like your person feels or hopes sometimes that you would slow down. And I feel like that's a strong message of, like, you're constantly doing, you're constantly being productive, you're constantly, moving and moving and moving. So your person definitely feels like you do too much, but not in a negative sense, but in the sense that they wish that you would take a break. So I hope that makes sense. It just feels like you're somebody that's like very busy. You like to keep busy. But I do feel like your person has this perception of you, like you're constantly going, you're constantly moving along here. And even though that works for you, I do feel like your person's like, I wish they would take a break, or like, I wish they would, stop, like, let's say maybe like working so hard or hustling so hard, etc. Not sure if that makes sense, but as always, this is a general reading. So if it does not resonate with you or apply to you, then it's not meant for you. But with that Eight of Pentacles, even, it just feels like you are somebody who's constantly on the go, or you're constantly doing. And I do feel like your person's rather impressed by the fact that you have such a strong work ethic, and that you are somebody that's constantly on the go. Let's say, like, you're always reciprocating somebody's energy, and they are impressed by that. But again, I do think that this person's also kind of like, I wish you would take a break. We move forward to the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands to me is going to bring up, there's a lot of times where, like, what I love with this is we've got the Two of Wands and we've got the Wheel of Fortune next to it. So the Two of Wands to me is going to indicate that at times your person might view you as being somebody who's rather indecisive. Now, what's funny with that indecision in the Two of Wands is the Wheel of Fortune right next to it shows that we're constantly moving onward and upward, though. So what I get from this is your person views you at times as being someone who might struggle to make a decision. But once you make that decision, whatever decision you are making is always the right one. And then I think your person backtracks, and they don't view you as being somebody who's indecisive. They view you as somebody who has very good judgment. So what I could picture this as, or who this might make more sense for, and maybe even act as confirmation, is if this is somebody that you have a history with, or somebody that you've, have an established relationship with, where at times perhaps this person has even told you like they wish that you would make up your damn mind. But when you do make up your damn mind, you sure as shit are making the absolute right and best decision for yourself, and you're seeing all of the positivity, abundance, and fulfillment that comes with you constantly making the best decisions for yourself. So it's kind of a funny message. And again, I feel like it makes a lot more sense as confirmation for some of us that have been with this person or have a history with this person. And there's been times where this person has told us they feel like we're indecisive, only to then backtrack or turn around and say to us, it was maybe good that you waited to make that decision, because now look at where you ended up. Like you ended up on top, etc., whatever the case might be. But the Two of Wands, again, even maybe for some of us in lesser established connections, could represent indecision. Thus your person, I'm sorry for the sirens in the background. I'm not sure if you can hear them, but there's a lot of sirens. But either way, that Two of Wands can reference indecision. Either way you slice it too. Like maybe for some, the little story I just told will act as confirmation for some, but maybe for others, like, we do have a problem with being indecisive. We have a problem picking and choosing which direction we want to go in. And your person perceives you and thinks of you as being somebody who at times has difficulty making decisions. Okay, pile 3, I had to pause for approximately 10 minutes and I have barely any recollection of where I left off. But I believe we left off somewhere between the Two of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune. And I was saying that for some of us, it might act as confirmation. That some of our... I'm sorry, the sirens are still going off. I waited, now they're still going. But anyway, with the Two of Wands, it could be confirmation of... We are somebody that's indecisive at times, but we're not quite indecisive as we are trying to make the best, most informed decision for ourselves. Our person might be like, make a damn decision, but we still wait until we do, and it always ends up working out for us. That could even be true for newer connections, but I do feel like for the newer connections, they might have less of a attitude of just make up your damn mind already, as somebody that maybe we have been in a relationship with for a bit of time now. But either way, your person views you or perceives you as somebody who could be indecisive. When we move forward to the Wheel of Fortune, the Wheel of Fortune to me, it's basically going to bring up positive energy, good luck, things changing in a positive direction. And for me, whether that story of confirmation makes sense to you and is something that you've experienced and your person has witnessed you do, or in general, this person could just perceive you as being somebody who is very lucky, perceives you as being somebody who's always good energy to be around. You know, that every time that all the time that they spend with you is always like high energy, very positive, like a good times, happy vibes type of energy to it. I also feel like the Wheel of Fortune could be a very strong indication that our person views us as being someone who trusts ourselves. Like, we don't go to a lot of people for advice, or we mainly trust ourselves and our own intuition or our own inner guidance. So that could be another way in which our person perceives us, that we're not really somebody who goes to a lot of people, or even in the sense of like, we're not somebody that involves a lot of other people in our business, is another message that I feel like is coming through for me here. When we move forward to the Eight of Wands, which I remember mentioning before as well, this person might feel like you are always on the move. Like you are always doing something. The Eight of Wands in general is a card that's indicative of like a lot of motivation, a lot of drive, a lot of ambition, a lot of energy, a lot of momentum. And all of that leads me to feel like your person views you as being somebody who is always on the go. You're always busy. You've always got something going on. However, going back to the Eight of Pentacles, you never let that get in the way of this connection, and this connection being able to evolve into something more than it is or than it was, in the past. You've always made time for your person. You've always shown up for them. And in regard to, let's say, certain friendships, family relationships, work, responsibilities, you somehow always make time for everyone in your life. And that's maybe part of the reason why your person at times feels like maybe you should slow down a little bit, because you do so much for others. And not only that, but it also just seems like to me like you're very fucking busy. I would also recommend taking a little break. But they view you as being somebody with a lot of motivation and a lot of drive. And next to the Wheel of Fortune as well, it's like you have a lot of motivation and a lot of drive, and you are always making the best decisions for yourself to move onward and upward exponentially in regard to your career, in regard to your goals, in regard to what it is that you want in life. You're constantly getting exactly what you set out to do. When we move forward to the Lovers, your person could perhaps view you as somebody who's a bit of a hopeless romantic. Generally, they do view you as being somebody who's very romantic, very kind, very loving, very supportive. That you're somebody who has a lot of care and love for the others in their life. So perhaps you're someone also that's very sympathetic, empathetic, compassionate toward yourself and toward others. Your person just views you as being somebody who's a very loving, kind-hearted person. Okay, and I feel like, again, especially for these connections that are more so established, they could also perhaps view you as somebody who is a hopeless romantic and who maybe even has a lot of idealistic views about love. So I hope that makes sense. Another thing, too, I would say for the more established connections is that this person could very well think of you as their soulmate. That they think of you and view you as their person, as their soulmate, as their love of a lifetime. Let's get some oracle cards out here. We start out with the High Lord of Gratitude and Service. We have selflessness, humility, and conscious action. I honestly feel like a lot of that is bringing me back to a little bit of the Eight of Pentacles, but mainly the Eight of Wands. You're somebody who is constantly reciprocating other people's energy. You're incredibly selfless. You try to show up for whoever, whenever you possibly can. Okay, when it comes to the humility, you are a very humble person. I feel like you do have a very strong work ethic. You are very successful. I feel like the Wheel of Fortune shows like we're constantly in this like upward momentum. We have a lot of luck. We have a lot of abundance. We have a lot of fulfillment in our lives, but we are very humble about it. The conscious action brings me back to the Eight of Wands again. We are constantly, our drive, our ambition, our motivation levels, it is constantly allowing for us to take divine inspired action toward what it is that we want. So we're constantly accomplishing and achieving, and our goals and our manifestations are constantly coming to fruition because we're always working towards something. And that's that. Let's get 2 more cards. Okay, we have this card. The Arrow Master, hitting the mark, intention, and detachment. The detachment I don't really feel so much of, and I do generally keep these positive as far as what your person thinks of you. So focusing on hitting the mark, again, we're constantly hitting the mark. All these arrows that we set forth into the universe, we hit exactly where it is that we want to hit with them. I feel like the Wheel of Fortune is proof of that, you know. We also have that hitting the mark on the Arrow Master card. You constantly achieve exactly what it is that you set out to do. And I feel like a huge part of that is because of the intentions that you set. And I feel like what at times your person perceives as your indecision is actually you taking a step back, viewing the situation as objectively as possible, connecting to your intuition and your inner wisdom, and you picking and choosing what ultimately is going to bring you the best results. So what this person and even maybe others in your life view as you being indecisive, I really feel is you setting your intentions and making sure that when you shoot that arrow into the universe, you are going to pluck out exactly what you want from the situation. So don't let anybody pressure you into making any decisions before you want to, because it seems as though you taking that step back and having others view it as being indecisive is actually you taking a step back, making sure that you are making the best possible decision for yourself. So I hope that that makes sense in some way, shape, or form. Especially since we're seeing it twice. And then we have the Dream Walker, dreams, the collective good, and illusions. And I feel like when it comes to the collective good and the selflessness, and that we're constantly doing and we're constantly reciprocating the energy of others, including this person, there's a huge indication that you absolutely look out for the other people in your life. You're there for them, etc., and so on. And when it comes to the dreams, I feel like you are constantly seeing your dreams, your goals, your ambitions come to fruition within your life. And I feel like a huge part of that is because of how hardworking you are. I feel like you're very savvy. You know, you get what it is that you want for yourself. Now let's pull some final oracle cards, basically to see where your person feels like this connection is going. Just a little bit more insight into the connection itself, you know, how it is that they're feeling about you and about the connection, where it is that they see this connection going between the both of you. And the first card to jump out is the Sunshine card. Good vibes and happy times, positive attitude, things going well. The answer is yes. Was I not just saying good vibes and happy times? Except I think I always fuck it up and I say happy vibes and good times. You know, there's a lot of fun and excitement happening within this connection right now. I feel like this person feels like you are a very positive force of energy to have in their life. And they also feel like things are going very well between the two of you and that things are going to continue to go very well between the both of you. And lastly, we have the Graduate, a new life phase or stage in a relationship. Someone has grown, healed, and evolved. Basically, again, I feel like what this person is hoping for, what this person wants to happen, where this person sees the connection going with you, is that the two of you are going to move forward toward a more so stable and committed relationship with one another, especially if this is a newer connection or if we've just begun dating them. It seems very much so to me that your person wants to move things forward with you. So I hope that that makes sense, my pile threes. Thank you all so much, and I hope that everybody has a wonderful weekend.